I am Makeup by CARRAMAE. If this is your first time here, welcome. So I was trying to do my makeup very dramatic today, trying to go outside the box. I'm loving these lashes. These are from CC Winks Minx lashes. They are called Rose. I'm gonna have a little coupon code in the bottom for you in the description box to help y'all out. Y'all wanna shop, y'all need to go ahead, because these lashes are popping. So let me tell you guys what we got going today. I am going through some of my makeup palettes, and I'm going to tell you guys rather if it was a hit or a miss. So I got palettes from like a long time ago. I got some kind of semi-new palettes. I don't know. I haven't bought eyeshadow palettes in a minute though. But some that were like really popular back then, we're gonna be taking a look at those, because some of these I think y'all kind of hyped them up, but we gonna see. So let's just jump right in. Now with this, I'm focusing on only eyeshadow palettes. And what I did was I categorized my palettes by brands. So some of the palettes from each brand we gonna go over. I'm going to start with Too Faced. Now, how I feel about Too Faced overall as a brand, I like their products. Some, when they do their marketing, like you guys know, I used to work at Ulta. So when I would see some of their marketing, it seemed like it was targeting more towards like younger girls, maybe teenagers. Maybe that's what they were looking for. But let's just get into these palettes. So first, this Sweet Peach palette. This palette was, oh my gosh, I believe it came out one time and it did really good. Then they took it away, then it came back out again. And everybody like hyped up this palette so bad. This is how this palette looks if you've never seen it before. It smells amazing. Like, you guys, it really does smell like peaches. And I had my palette for a while and it still smells like peaches. Too Faced is known for their stuff like being scented, and it always smells amazing. The eyeshadows are very pigmented, but you know what, y'all, I don't use this palette that often. I think what everybody knows, when you're buying eyeshadow palettes, you're really just paying for the packaging. I forgot how much it retailed for back then, but yeah, I don't. Does anybody use their Sweet Peach palette that often? It was like 2 shades out of this whole palette that I used a lot. So yeah, I don't want to call it a hit, but I don't want to call it a miss either. We gotta have somewhere like an in-between. I don't know what the in-between is gonna be, but it's definitely in between, because I really like Too Faced. Like, yeah, but let's just go to the next one. This is the Natural Love palette. When this palette first launched, like, everyone used to always run up to this palette when I was working at Ulta. They used to always want to play with it and test it out. And let me tell y'all, when I first bought this palette, like, I used to just buy every new palette at Ulta that came out just to say I had it. And when I got this one, I think I tried using it like once and I never used it again. I just recently started back using this palette, and I feel like I was just too young to cherish this palette. Like, this palette is amazing. I love this palette so much. This palette, this one isn't scented, you guys. Yeah, this one's not scented. It comes with, I don't know how many shades this is. It's a lot though. You get a variety of shades. They're kind of like in the, like, it's like neutrals and pastels. They're very pigmented. It's a lot of shimmer shades. It's probably like maybe 4 mattes, or it's probably like 5 or 6 mattes. But anyways, the shadows are super pigmented. I like these. These are great for an everyday look. So if you want like a large palette but with a variety of shades, this would have been a really good one. Now, I'm not sure if it's still on their website. I know it's more like, I doubt if it's in Ulta anymore. This one, they also came out with a second one. I forgot how that one looked, but I think it was like similar to this one. But if you can find this on the Too Faced website still, that would be amazing for you, or any other kind of makeup site. If you can find it, that would be great. But I definitely think this is good for someone who's like some neutral looks, but nothing like too much, but with a little pizzazz. That's this palette. So this is definitely a hit. We have the Peanut Butter Jelly palette by Too Faced. This one was definitely hyped up. And when it first came out, I was like, why are people hyped about this? Like, it's small, It has like regular shades. I was like, why are people so hyped up about this? When I was working at Ulta, a Too Faced rep came in and she was so cool. I loved her. And you know, their job is to just basically teach you about the brand, teach you about the palettes and stuff so you can sell them. We had like a really slow day that day. And so we're just kind of hanging out, chilling. Like, she's still talking to us about the brand. But she put this palette on me, and after she did that, I was like, I gotta have this palette. This palette, it may not look like it's gonna really give it to you. It's gonna give it to you. Play around with these shades. Very pigmented. Too Faced shades, they're always pigmented. Let's just stop at that. Their shades are always super pigmented. You're always gonna get the color payoff that you're looking for. You can do some stuff with these shades. You would just think this is a regular eyeshadow, but she was using this for a highlighter for me, and I loved it. It looked great on my skin tone. You have great transition colors in these, great crease colors, great just shades to put on the lid. I really like this palette a lot, and I think the concept is super cute for the peanut butter and jelly. So this is a hit. I'm working on stocking up my Juvia's Place palettes, but I'm just gonna pull out one palette right now, cause this is all it takes. Juvia's Place, bomb. Like, nobody is messing with Juvia's Place. I don't care. I don't care. All of their shades pigmented. For mattes to be very pigmented, this is a whole all matte palette. This is the Warrior 2 palette. Do y'all know how much it means to find like good quality matte shades? Crazy. I love everything about Juvia's Place. Their pricing is on point. It's super affordable. You can get them from the Juvia's Place website. You can also get it at Ulta. Now I believe you can get it inside Target, because y'all know Ulta them kind of moved into Target a little bit. And Juvia's Place, they're always having a sale too. Like, and it's black owned. They are just bomb. Like, I don't even gotta pull out multiple eyeshadow palettes from them. You know, if it's Juvia's Place, you're gonna get what you paid for. Like, it's gonna be amazing. Anything about Juvia's Place is amazing. Even their foundation, their concealers, like, I love them. Their powders, just, whew. This brand is definitely a hit. It's A1. Now let's talk about Tarte. I really love Tarte back when, you know, I was working in Ulta, and they were really popular. Like, everyone loved their foundations, everyone loved their concealer. I think people still use the Shape Tape concealer. Me personally, I always hated Shape Tape. I'm definitely not a fan of Shape Tape, but I was very much a fan of their eyeshadows and stuff, and I thought that their packaging always looked great. Now, today, I feel like I don't hear people talking about Tarte anymore. Like, it's starting to become not so popular. Like, I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and a beauty influencer, she said like she could really do without Tarte, which I'm not gonna say that about Tarte. I'm pretty sure they got some stuff coming or something. I don't know. I haven't been on top of my beauty stuff, so I have to go look. But this is the Tardis Pro Palette. This shadow is amazing. It's filled with majority mattes and 4 shimmers. I always really like this palette a lot. The mattes in this palette are really good quality. The shimmer shades are really good. I started to really value this palette as I got a little bit older. I haven't used it recently, but this palette is still good. This is still something you can use today. I like palettes that, like, if you use them back then, you can still use them now. So if you want to kind of get your money's worth, and this palette was expensive back then. I think this palette was about $60. So I definitely feel like I got my money's worth because I'm still using it today. So that palette is definitely a hit. Now we have the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. Okay, the packaging on this was just really cute. Like, how they marketed it, I fell in love with the marketing. That's basically what I really paid for. I didn't end up using this palette every day. Some of the shades, I still haven't even touched, y'all. And I had this palette since about, 2015, 2016. I've had this palette for a long time and probably only used about 2 of the shades. Yeah, I still try to use it today. Like, I try to incorporate it with my makeup looks. Sometimes it work out, sometimes it don't. But yeah, I definitely could have kept my money on this one. So this is gonna be a miss, sorry. This is the Tarte Clay Play palette. Let me just open this up for y'all real quick. Y'all see that? It looks like it's been used and abused. You wanna know why? This oh, y'all see all that smoke? This palette was amazing to me. When I tell you I use this palette every single day, and I was so mad because I was gonna order another one. I went on the Too Faced website and it was gone. This wasn't there anymore. They had a one that looked similar to this, but it wasn't this. I feel like Tarte nailed it with this palette. It had like all neutral shades and they were all mattes. I'm trying to think if they have any shimmer. I don't think it did. Y'all see all my shades are empty because I like really use and abuse this palette. That eyeshadow does get me every time. This palette was just like everything. And I'm just like, I thought about writing to her and asking them like, why y'all take it off? Y'all really need to put that back. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know how it was selling in general, but for me, I need this palette in my life. So Tarte, if anybody messing with Tarte is watching this, please bring this back because I need another one. I need to find, if you know where I can get this exact one. They have ones that look similar. I don't need that one because it had like a dark brown shade that was perfect for contouring and stuff. It went well with my skin tone. I really need this palette again. So yeah, this is definitely a hit. Now it's time for Urban Decay. Let me tell you about Urban Decay, y'all. Urban Decay is, they was popping. Like, I'm pretty sure they still popping, y'all. I need to get more hit with what's going on as far as like new stuff coming out all the time, because I'm not working at like a beauty store anymore, so I gotta make sure I stay hip. But Urban Decay, like, they were always like a go-to for eyeshadow palettes. My very first eyeshadow palette was a Nekki palette. It was the Nekki 2 palette. Now, I feel like everyone who got into makeup, your first palette had to be one of the Nekki palettes. It just had to be. If it wasn't, who did you buy? Who? Cause who was going anywhere else? Urban Decay had eyeshadows on lock. Like, cannot tell me they did not. This palette right here, this is the, you know, I've been calling him John, but I heard a beauty influencer call him Jean. This is the Urban Decay Jean or John Michael Basquiat palette. I really like this palette a lot. It was very pigmented. Urban Decay eyeshadows are always pigmented. Always keep that in mind. If you are looking at their eyeshadows and you want to know like, oh my gosh, it's going to come off like how I wanted to, it is. But this one is, it was really different because I was used to seeing like always neutral shades from Urban Decay. So when I seen that they had like a kind of a colorful one, I was like, let me jump on that. And I really do like this palette a lot. I don't ever use the shades this way. I only use like the green and the blues for some reason, which is random. I don't know why I don't ever use this side of the palette. I just use this side. So I would kind of put this maybe in the middle then, as far as like hit and miss. We still need a name for the middle section, but it goes in the middle. I didn't think I had this, but I had to look for it. But this is the Nekki 2 palette. Like I told you guys, it's all kind of neutral shades in there. It's some mattes, some shimmers, and this was everybody's first palette. And you know why I think it was everybody's first palette? When you would walk into the beauty stores, Urban Decay, their marketing was amazing. All the palettes were always front and center. You had the original Nekki palette, you had the Nekki 2, you had the Nekki 3, and when they all would just sit there together, it's like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get these. It's so appealing to the eye. This palette was really good. I feel like this is probably really good though for someone who's actually more mature. And the reason I say that is from my experience working in beauty stores. I know what more mature women like as far as eyeshadows go, and these are the kind of colors they tend to lean to. Now they do tend to like more mattes than shimmers, but we do have some that did like shimmers. So these are the shades that they're kind of into. Yeah, I got this as a starter palette, but when you like really get into doing makeup, your main thing is going to be like transition colors. You always want something that you're going to be able to blend with other colors. I feel like I didn't really have a good transition color within this palette. I did have a few shades that I really liked, but I didn't really have much to like work with as far as like, you know, that first shade that you put on to blend with your other colors. I didn't have that, but these were perfect for on the lid shades. So basically, depending on who you are, is if this palette is a hit or miss. Yeah. Next, we got the Urban Decay eyeshadow box. This palette, I fell in love with it. At first, I didn't want it, but a makeup artist I used to work under put me on, and I fell in love. This black right here, this is the darkest black I ever used, and that's perfect for if you don't have like an eyeliner on you. You can use this shadow. It's good for smoking out. I thought this gold was really nice. These are honestly the main two shades that I use, but I feel like one day in my life I'm gonna want to use the rest of these. I just don't know when that day is. So this palette is a hit to me. Now I know I done showed y'all other palettes where like, well, she didn't use those shades and she said they were misses. I don't see me using those shades in the future. But this one, I definitely see me using them. So that's how I feel about that. This next brand, I have quite a few palettes from. Like, I have a lot. And that should tell you what you need to know already. Because if I keep buying palettes from you, you own something. Anastasia, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Their palettes are amazing to me. I think their eyeshadows are always very pigmented. Now, I'm not gonna lie. They have like a tiny, just a real tiny bit of fallout. That's it. But other than that, their eyeshadows are amazing. And like their palettes that are like these, I fall in love with all of them. All of them. I try to get all of them. Every time they come out, I'm like, oh, I gotta get that one. I gotta get that one. I gotta get that one. Because they're just always good. This is the Soft Glam palette. Y'all already know I've used this in the past, and I tell y'all, this is one of my go-to palettes. This palette is amazing. I love the shades that are in this palette. I think Anastasia goes for it when it comes to the shades that they put in their palettes. Like, they hit you with some kind of neutrals, then they got some that's kind of like out there but not too out there. It's just right, and they just be on point with it. This is a hit. My Modern Renaissance palette, this is definitely a hit. When I tell y'all this was the only palette I used for so long, every single day for like months, this palette was everything back then. Like, I done let it go now because I had to. Like, girl, you gotta use other palettes too. You gotta use other ones. But this palette was, I kept this in my makeup kit to use on clients. This palette, it's it. Now, one thing I am gonna say, how they got this velvety smooth covers, I always mess these things up. I don't never keep any of mine clean. I don't know if I would want them to take that away or not. Maybe I just need to get cleaner. Maybe that's it. Modern Renaissance, a hit. Now, Norvina. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't use this palette that often. I think I've only used it maybe like 3 times before. I do like the shades in it. I don't personally know why. I keep telling myself, you're gonna have to do a whole look with this palette, with just using this palette only. You're gonna have to do that. I don't know. Like, as you can see, it's a lot of the shades in here I haven't even touched. I'm not gonna say it's a miss. I just don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. It's me as a person. It gotta be me. Master Palette by Mario. Y'all already know this was a hit. Everybody loved this palette. If you say you ain't love this palette, you lying. Everybody wanted this palette. If you didn't get this palette, you played yourself. This palette is amazing. Just the quality. It's all there. That's all I'm gonna say. Anastasia got it, baby. Jackie Ines palette. Don't play with sis. This palette is amazing. Y'all see? Y'all, I done kind of use and abuse this palette too. But amazing. Like, Anastasia just got it. I'm sorry, that's another brand that I really love when it comes to eyeshadows. I really mess with them. Now, I know we were only supposed to be focusing on eyeshadow palettes, but this brand in particular, I don't think I ever seen eyeshadows from them. And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I may just be having a brain fart. Becca. This is the Becca Eyelights palette. I don't want to blind y'all. So as you can see, it's mixing shades in here, so that lets you know what you need to know. This palette is really good, and it was perfect. I used to have it in my kit. It was perfect for that. It has all different shades of like highlighters for all different skin tones. I think it is perfect to have if you are a makeup artist. The quality is amazing. And somebody told me, I still don't know if it's true because I haven't researched it, that Becca was like Indian, wasn't gonna be any more Becca. And I really hope that's not true. Like, y'all, I really like Becca a lot. Like, their foundations were good. I would use them on people in the store. highlighters, they got that game on lock. Like, Becca was really good. And that primer, don't get me started on the Evermatte primer. Like, I really hope it's not true. I'm kind of late probably. I need to go Google that after this. I want to go Google that. This is Coastal Scents. Now, I personally never bought anything from Coastal Scents. When I was just getting into makeup, my sister-in-law gave me a few Coastal Scents palettes. And she gave me like 2 or 3 of them. And from what I see, depending on what kind of palette you get from them determines whether it is a hit or a miss. I have like a colorful one. That's what I used today on my eyes. I don't know what I did with it now, but it was kind of small. I've used it in my past videos before. The quality in that palette is amazing. The shadows are super pigmented, and I'm glad that they are because they're colorful shades. You know, I really want the colors to like be on my eyes. This one is like a palette for a neutral shades. And I only really use like a few of these shades. This one was my favorite one to use, as you can tell. But a lot of these shades, I really didn't even really touch them. And some of it, I really didn't like the quality of it. So overall, this one is going to be a miss. The last brand I'm going to get into right now is going to be Morphe. Everybody loves Morphe. Morphe is amazing. Morphe is affordable. Their shadows are good. They're just everything. Morphe is perfect. I really have no complaints about them at all. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. I love this palette. It has like colorful shades. It has your mattes. It has your neutrals. It really gives me what I need. I use this palette every day. Ever since I got this palette, I use it nonstop. I use it every single day. I don't know what I would do without this palette. And I believe she came out with another one. I didn't even bother to look at that one because I use this one so much. And I really love this one. So yeah, this is a hit. I may take a look at the other one though. But that one is amazing. Even the smaller one, she came out with other ones after she did that big one. So it was like 4, I think. I think it was called the Vault. This is Bling Boss. I thought this is really cute because I love me some pinks and purples and rose gold. That is my thing. Now it is like these shades. You gotta like really dig in there to get the stuff. It's like how it's made. I can't really explain it, but you gotta make sure you're using the right brush when it comes to those shades. Then Ring the Alarm, one of my favorite ones from the Vault. I'm a sucker for like browns and oranges and stuff like that, like the real neutral shades. They have a special place in my heart. Hit. Now I have a few of these. These are like the smaller Morphe palettes. This one is 9A, and I love this palette so much. This is perfect. Like, this is the perfect bridal like palette. Like if you're doing bridal makeup, this is really good. It's good for like the whole bridal party, and it's good for your bride. Love these little small Morphe palettes, and I think they're only like $12. Y'all know Morphe is so affordable, and their quality is just so good. Like, I feel like nowadays, if you want to get someone a starter palette, Morphe would be the way to go, because you know the quality is going to be good and it's affordable. So that's like a really good starter, like I'm learning to do makeup palette. So y'all better look into Morphe. That is a wrap, you guys. Like I said before, I wasn't going to show you all of my palettes. I just wanted to show you a few of what I thought was a hit or miss. All of these are just my honest opinions. It has nothing to do with what anybody else thought. These are just me. You don't have to agree with me, of course. This is just what I think and what I feel, and this just goes based off of how often I use these palettes and what I think they would be great for. Yeah, so these are just my opinions, and y'all ain't gotta like it. Y'all ain't gotta like it at all. But I hope you still enjoy my video, even if you don't like it. Y'all already know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell so you can be notified every time I post. New videos are dropping every Wednesday and Friday. Also, be sure to follow me on social media at Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Miss CARRAMAE. Thanks you guys so much. Bye.